Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies, all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got...
Welcome in, and happy Friday. As you can see, we got the full team on tonight and ready to get it in. Hope everybody has had a great week. For those following, please like, share, and subscribe. This episode I think it's going to be an awesome and amazing episode. So you got toxic friends, we're going to be honest. We know we got toxic friends.
I got a
share this with your toxic friend or that other person toxic in your life. Like I do podcasts with my toxic friend. So I don't know what else to say on that note. But nevertheless, we are here on awesome Friday. If you have not, please like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook, IG, TikTok, Spotify, Pandora, all those awesome spaces and places. So,
the internet toxic. Look out, Jesus. It's Pluto in retrograde. Is Pluto that's the same thing as Mercury?
No, that's different.
Man, I can tell you, I'm feeling Pluto.
Okay. There go my toxic friend. She's gone. So yeah, like she was saying, like, share, subscribe on Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, we about to have this conversation. I think this is a great conversation. I've been thinking about it, doing some self-reflection. Reflecting. Yeah, I know what I'm trying to say. Oh, that's
reflecting.
Welcome back, my toxic friend.
That internet toxic. That Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it better not be, because I paid a nice little penny for this internet and had to switch over from an internet that working out great. So I'm gonna need them to get their life together.
Okay.
On that note, yeah. So yes. So on this awesome topic, of course, it's like stranger danger, because you know somebody ain't been here in a little minute. I ain't gonna say no name, but a little weird having her back.
Oh, your toxic co-host?
Yeah, we missed her though, very, very, very much.
How long? When was the last time I was here?
It's been
a minute. I think April, March.
Yeah, because April was crazy. And if I did not mark this on my calendar, I probably would have missed it, because the children had prom tonight, and I was like, I ain't going to the prom. I ain't chaperoning. I'll skip out on the free food tonight.
I was thinking February, but we'll go with March.
I think it was March, because it was women's. February? What, we talking about something with women?
February.
It was February? No. It was
because I wasn't here.
I could look and tell you.
I wasn't here.
Dang, I missed 2 months.
I'm gonna need
you.
I can tell you. Good to see y'all. Welcome in, everybody.
Yes. So, how we want to kick this one off? Because you was already doing your intro while you over there grooming yourself like you a cat. I was
doing my intro because you had left. I didn't want just for it to be silent.
Well, go on and introduce the show then. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm busy.
You know what? Anyway, as you see, toxic people are on the podcast as well. But nevertheless, of course, we all know somebody that is toxic, and we hear this word toxic so much. A lot of people coin it as therapy lingo and state that it's always getting them. The word gets abused and misused in all these different spaces. Because if you tell somebody they toxic, that ain't right. You don't know what you're talking about. You're using it wrong. Now we gonna cross the T's and dot the I's, because 9 out of 10 they behind toxic, real toxic. So of course we got our house therapist back in her seat. So we gonna let her go ahead and tell us what is the definition of toxic behavior.
Okay, well, thank y'all for having me back. Welcome back, Carter. Right? God, I'm old. Oh, it's like what you said. A lot of times we get this misconception that toxic people are the overtly loud and rude and fighting and just get the I don't know, go from 0 to 100 mad and just tearing up America, right? And that is very bad behavior. That is not acceptable behavior. You somewhere and they didn't just start cussing everybody out because of road rage, all that stuff. When we think of toxic, we think of things like that. But oftentimes toxic behavior is really people dealing with unhealed pain, trauma, fear, insecurity, survival responses, or learned behavior. And so harmful patterns is what would technically be considered toxic. Yeah, the person fighting and cussing also, but you also have people who might be manipulative, right? You also may have people poor communication, control issues. There may be some jealousy or possessiveness, guilt tripping, gaslighting, doing a silent treatment, emotional invalidation. Why you crying? Ain't nothing wrong. We said love bombing, inconsistency, lack of accountability, and codependency. All right. Or they are really critical of you. Maybe every time you say something, they got a rebuttal. I think it's this. Well, it's really not this. It's this. Well, damn, I can't have an opinion. So that is our definition of toxic behavior. And well, I ain't gonna out myself just yet. Y'all got any questions before I start going?
It almost seems like you can't do shit. You can't even blink at this motherfucker. Like, oh, you blinking, you toxic. Like,
well, I love the breakdown that you gave.
Some of the stuff that you name, some of the stuff that you name is just like human nature. Now the gaslighting and shit, yeah, I get that. I can understand that. But some of that stuff, yeah,
it might be some humans' nature, but in actuality, it is toxic. Some folks might naturally be toxic because of pain and unhealed trauma that they experience. But a lot of times these behaviors are normal because we don't realize that it's hurting other people. We don't realize that it's toxic. If we're not at the Walmart cussing the folk out or road raging or some of that other stuff, we assume that's what toxic behavior just is. But a lot of these other things that's mentioned, is toxic as well.
And that's why I wanted to ask this question real quick. As far as like some toxic behaviors being universal on a big picture, but also subjective to an individual. Like if I feel like it's toxic, like if you blink, but it's not that you blink, but it, I'm saying the blink compared with your eye roll or something like that, or is that a thing, or is that just me?
Well, I mean, a person can take things wrong. In essence, according to the definition, they might be toxic too. If somebody's doing something and you're misinterpreting it because you have a filter on that says this is bad, and their intentions are not to be bad or to do anything to you, but you're receiving it as that. And so really what the toxic behavior boils down to is a lot of unhealed trauma and a lot of unhealed trauma responses or reactions. That's basically where it comes from. So let's roll into it. Where does it come from? Childhood trauma, adverse experiences, abandonment wounds, attachment styles, anxious attachment, avoidant, or disorganized, growing up around yelling, manipulation, emotional neglect, or instability, low self-worth or fear of rejection, survival mode and hypervigilance, social media, unhealthy relationship models, and normalized dysfunction. So are we born into toxic behavior? We can be. And do we know it's wrong? If nobody pointed out, we think that's just what it is.
Yes.
So yeah, it can't be human behavior because it's something that was learned. If my Mother's Day coming up, Jesus, Letha May ought to be in the bed. But if my mother always has a negative rebuttal and everything, and yeah, don't tell mom. I'm in trouble now. Shit, let me get a good Mother's Day gift. But if your parent have a negative rebuttal all the time, nothing is right, everything is wrong, it's negative, 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 and you're raised in that environment, guess what you're gonna be doing? Negative, negative, negative. That's me.
And so I guess I understand that, and I love. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Did we freeze up? Did I freeze? Oh, shoot, am I back?
No. Yeah, you're back.
Oh, Lord. What's wrong with the Wi-Fi? Okay.
I was going to read one of these comments. I like that the comment, things are normalized because we tolerate it, right? And I can understand that perspective, and the reason why I asked the question that I asked before that is because if I pointed out to you how this makes me feel, but you continue to display that behavior, then does that make it toxic?
That definitely makes it toxic.
Is it toxic, or is that a not a learned behavior, but because it is a learned behavior?
All of it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's shit. Is it a behavior? Like,
well, I mean, the reason why I asked that question is because a lot of times in that space, right, especially depending on that relationship, if we're in an intimate romantic relationship, and if you're expressing that something that I'm doing makes you feel a certain type of way, and I completely ignore that, then that can make it toxic because, even in the Bible, there's scriptures that speaks about doing things that can have you in a certain space. Go ahead.
Are you ignoring it? Ignoring it on purpose or not realizing it?
Well, some people say that's just how I am. Now, if you don't realize it, then I can understand that.
And the reason why I'm asking that question is, I always say again, I need to stop that. That's a toxic behavior shit. When we tend to put things on people, not realizing that they may not know that they're doing it. I.e., like you said, they might tell you something, and you're ignoring it, but it's not intentional. Like,
yeah.
Like if they say, "Hey, D, I don't like the way you chew gum. The way you chew gum look like you got a mouthful of a mouthful of spit." And then you like it goes in the ear. You say, "Okay, I'm sorry, brother." Da 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 da. But later on down the line, you're doing it again. It's not that you're doing it intentionally; it's a habit. But if I say that to you, if like somebody say that to you, and you turn around like that, now it's intentional. You see what I'm saying?
The toxic behavior is the fact that you tell me that when I chew gum, like I got a mouth. I mean, I'm just saying that's the way you say.
None of that. The toxic part is probably the one talking about you chewing the gum, not the fact that you're chewing it. But I think to use an example, to use a personal example, negative thinking. I kind of introduced that, right? As happy-go-lucky as I am, I have a brain full of negative thoughts, and I see the negative before. It's like when you expecting bad and good happens, and you're like, "Oh, it was really good." So you have this onset of, "Oh man, this ain't gonna turn out right," and then it does. That negative behavior can be toxic in itself. Now that was learned behavior, because like I outed my poor mama. Y'all make certain she sleep, okay? That was a thing. So my view of a lot of stuff was negative. Okay, so I had a partner, and that's what I gave them. Now, for me, I thought I was just being me, just whatever, because hey, nobody really said nothing about it before. I'm raised in a household of people who do the exact same thing, so we all thought we was all right, right? Until you get in a situation and you project it onto people, right? And so if they say it and you keep doing it, I think for my situation, it wasn't that I didn't hear what they were saying. I guess I didn't understand how it was affecting them, because this was a norm for me. And so we may have things that are norms for us because that's what we've been doing for 40 years or 50 years or whatever. We were raised into that, or maybe at some point it gradually became a part of our lifestyle and who we are, that we did not realize that this was toxic behavior. So yeah.
And that's good. Because we understand the universal toxic behaviors, lying, betrayal, cheat.
Yeah.
We understand that. But now when we sit and make it personal, right? Now I'm reflecting on me, the things that I just thought was normal, and they may have been normal in my household, but now when we're intertwining these households and there's a new sense of normalcy, are we able to see that as being toxic as well? I'm glad you pointed that out. I'm gonna save mine for a little bit later.
Oh, okay. This is my confession. Okay.
When you are with somebody else and you're in a relationship, usually people have a different upbringing. So, like you say, once this person thinks, okay, well, drinking out the jug.
Yeah.
Is that toxic?
Yeah, we had that damn backwash in that bad boy. That's
germs do. So yes,
get the hand.
And you used to drinking out that person is used to drinking out the jug, and it's 5 or 6 other people in the house that might want that cran grape too. But now you done put your lips and your germs all on it. Don't nobody want it. Now if somebody say something like, hey, we want some as well, but then we don't want it now because you can put all your germs and stuff on it. So, and if it becomes a consistent issue, I feel like that starts going into a toxic behavior because you're only thinking about yourself, not the other people in the house. Like, that's nasty. I'm sorry. That's just nasty. So
I don't do it. I just make it fun.
Noticing until the worlds start colliding on how things are. What one person does, the other one may not. That's just like, this is one of my sticklers. I just think this is some of the nastiest. And
I talk about stuff that you do. And not what other people
How about
do.
you hush your face and you gonna put your stuff to the end? Hush your face. Thank you. So
toxic, right
you
there.
never know how people for me, the washcloth, the dish towel for the dishes is only for the dishes. You
How is that toxic?
Listen, you ain't let me.
Hey, bro, I agree.
You don't go wipe something off the floor, or you don't go clean the trash can lid with the dish rag.
How often do you use the dish rag before you wash? You know what? I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. Carry on. This is not toxic. These are pet peeves that you know. It's better to use the dish rag to wash off the trash can than to use a bath towel.
Okay, people, children.
I'm sorry.
No, Gina had a good point. She said toxic to ourselves. I think we can't know all our negativity all at once because it will blow our minds. Example, I'm critical. I know it's a toxic thing in me, but learning about it make me realize how it's hurtful. And learning means I can't just say, oh, that's just the way I am. Well, that can't get it anymore. It's knowing and then working on being better. Staying stuck in it makes
Yeah.
it toxic.
That
Amen.
part. That part.
Amen. And the church say
Totally
amen.
agree.
Amen again, and amen one more time.
I totally agree because we are conditioned, maybe, or we are I don't know, transformed into this role with this toxic behavior. We don't know it, but when we do recognize it, we need to be self-aware and we need to want to change. Some people do feel like this is just how I am, take me or don't. And I think, my opinion, that is the most toxic, because if I have not just chewing and gum and using a dish rag to wipe your butt or whatever y'all was talking about, but if I do have the poor communication, the defensiveness, that ain't gonna kill what is hantavirus or whatever that shit is. I mean, you might, never mind. But how you relate to other people and how you relate to yourself, that's the main thing with the toxic behavior. And if you are in a relationship or just in community with whomever, and these things are pointed out and you recognize it, do you want to continue to offend people, or just, hey, y'all take me as I am, or not? Or do you want to change your behavior? Because remember, this comes from unhealed trauma. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Because now I'm agreeing with DA. And some of this stuff, like, if I ask you why you feel like that's toxic, you just be like, it's just your preference.
Well, those examples y'all using is different. Them examples y'all using is not toxic behavior.
Well, okay,
so that's
different.
That's
all right. So let me throw an example out there. All right, so you got an individual that is knownfully manipulating another person. So I'm gonna just hypothetical now. You have a guy dating a female, a woman, right? And he knows that she has self-esteem issues, right? So instead of trying to encourage her and tell her she's beautiful and all that stuff, he's like, why are you doing this? I don't think you should wear that. I don't think you should wear this. In my opinion, I don't think that looks good on you. Now he's using the information that he has about her self-esteem issues to manipulate her into doing something that he wants her to do, i.e., dress down for him. So that's I think it's toxic behavior.
Definitely, that's controlling. Maybe some jealousy out there, controlling, and all of that stuff. Definitely,
so that's what I think toxic behavior is. Or the other thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. But and that's one of the things I agree as far as the big picture of anybody can see it as toxic, right? And it's sad to say, but yes, that does happen. But it's those personal things that we tend to overlook as being toxic, like me, right? If I ask somebody for help, right? Yes, I want to help, but now I want you to help me the way I want you to help me, but not the way that you feel is best. You understand what I'm saying? And I realize that, and I'm working on that. But it was a space to where if I ask you to help me with this project, well, this is the way I want you to help me. Not saying it's just best, it's just the way it's comfortable for me. And I would give a lot of pushback in that space, even in relationships, man, friendships. She can't tell you, but I'm aware now. So if I trust you enough to ask for help, then I trust you enough to help your way as well. So.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Who?
You. Oh. So in that same line, say that you want support from somebody, and there's a way in which you want support versus the way that they give it. The way that they may not support you may not be how you can actually take it. Is that going to fall down in that same line? Because support looks different for everybody.
And that's the thing. If I express the way I need the support, then it don't fall in that same line. But if I say I need support in this area, but I don't want you in this area, then I don't see is that wrong, you know.
I don't think that's wrong either.
Yeah.
I don't think that's wrong either, because that's your decision. Now, if you're just like, okay, I need help, and then when they start helping you, like, man, look. Don't even worry about it.
That's what I was talking about right there, Dee-J.
Yeah, don't even worry about it.
That's why I'm working at.
Yeah.
Larneka?
Yeah, you know, these are some things that you can, how can you recognize your toxic behavior? Because I think we have things that we may not like, but is it toxic behavior? You know, control issues is definitely one, but how do we recognize these patterns in ourselves? If we look at the defensiveness when receiving feedback, difficulty apologizing or taking accountability, needing constant reassurance, fear of abandonment showing up as control, which could be the scenario that Dee gave about addressing in the self-esteem issues, emotional reactions that don't match the situation. Maybe people just blowing up for no reason. Difficulty regulating emotions during conflict and repeating the same unhealthy relationship cycles. So that toxic behavior, like self-sabotage and always going for the same type of person, knowing, you know, the outcome, maybe looking for something different. So some interpersonal interactions, I guess you could look at the intention, maybe not even, I won't even say that, because sometimes you can do stuff and it's not intentional, but it's learned behavior and you're doing it. And so with any interaction in relationships, look at the dynamics. What are we saying? I want you to help me, but don't help me like this, help me like that. Okay. If you're asking for help, and I want to make certain that I am helping you, but if you're controlling every aspect of my help, then I don't know. You know, that's not good interaction. And the controlling part would be the toxic behavior. If I'm bowling down the same alley y'all were talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And so a lot of times we don't know. We don't know because trauma changes how we respond to things emotionally. You know, like I said, being raised in a household, I've experienced a lot of relationship trauma, and as good of a person as I think I am, as much of a sweetheart and a loyal person as I think I am, I've discovered in my last relationship that I got some unhealed trauma, which caused some toxic behavior. Now, I labeled myself as that. Nobody said, you're toxic. I was, we didn't go there. I'm reflecting, self-reflection, been doing that a lot. Maybe that's why I was MIA for 2 months. I don't think it was that long, but I was MIA.
The last episode say 2 months ago, ma'am. I looked at it.
Really? It was in February? Oh my God, what happened in March? I don't know. I had my nephew. I don't know. Anyway, nevertheless, I had to really dig deep and do a lot of soul searching and reflecting, listening to the feedback that I received, and being the therapist that I am, being the self-aware person that I am, that I thought I was, and now I think I'm probably upped it a few notches now. I realized that, this behavior is toxic. Being defensive. For me, always being hurt in a relationship, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Having people being critical of me whenever I was given some constructive, I won't even say criticism, just someone expressing their wants and their needs. I took it as, what I ain't doing this right. What am I doing wrong? I thought I was right. Not, And so I didn't realize these things by myself. I'm not one that will just be an ass, to people. But I was an ass to people.
You got a potty mouth tonight.
I think it's been away for so long. Is this censored? Y'all got some religious sponsorship or something?
This is straight to the way.
It would have been gone thanks to DA. So
wait, what?
We said we love you, DA, and
that's a lie.
That's sweet.
That's a toxic behavior right there.
Oh Lord. So with the trauma and with the with those relationship traumas, I picked up some trauma responses that I didn't realize that I had. I didn't realize the fear of abandonment. Those abandonment issues run. Yep, that was about to. I caught it. Those abandonment issues, man. The fear of abandonment runs deep. They run deep.
Wait. But is that a toxic behavior or is that a survival mechanism?
Both, because the definition said being in survival mode. If I'm always afraid that you're gonna leave me, and I'm being controlling or jealous or checking locations and checking social media and doing all of these other things, that becomes toxic. Now, if I have abandonment issues, I might have a fear, but I'm not projecting it onto anybody. Those are some internal things that I need to deal with. And I probably am toxic to myself, because even if I don't display it and I don't show it, I'm feeling it. So it swings both ways. Am I projecting my stuff onto somebody? And then internally, what am I feeling? Am I talking negative to myself? You don't deserve a good person because you done been through this stuff and the negative stuff and negative. And I have a negative view of myself. We not only want to be aware and heal toxic behavior for other people, we need to start with healing it within ourselves. It is unresolved trauma. You didn't do me nothing, or maybe you did, and I need to get away. But 9 times out of 10, these behaviors either came from childhood or something we experienced through life. And the issue at hand is, how do I see myself and how am I showing up for other people? It starts from within.
So
yeah, and it don't.
There's a question in the comments that kind of goes with what you're saying right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, that question. You want to read it, TK?
Okay, it says, why do we, in parentheses, I, put up with it so long or give so many chances? I just finally cut my brother out of my life. He was and is a bully and toxic to me all my life. Why did it take me to the age of 65 to finally do that? There's peace inside me now, but I also feel some sort of foolish that it took me so long. I'll sit back and take it in now.
Well, don't feel foolish. A lot of times we don't recognize these things because, like I said, we grew up with it. Everybody in my house is negative. Okay, maybe my little sister not, but my parents definitely are. And once we start seeing life differently for ourselves, we grow. We have new experiences. We heal some things within ourselves. Then we get to recognize the world around us. Because when I come from a toxic situation, everything has a toxic lens to it. And a lot of times we tolerate things that we should not tolerate because of self-esteem, self-worth, because we always give family a pass. If you come from a family that says your family can step on you and poop on you and do any damn thing they need to, but it's family and y'all need to stay together, then you lose boundaries because you've been taught it don't matter what they do or say, that's still your family. But the world is changing and people are changing and we're growing and we're learning. So as we learn and become self-aware and we heal different parts of us, there are going to be things that we no longer tolerate. So count it all joy that you have released your brother. Don't feel bad that it took you this long because, we were raised to accept the worst out of people just because they're family. For the majority. Now, some families be like, child, I'm 18, I'm gone. I don't know who y'all is no more. Okay. And hey, and they may raise their family from that to not deal with that. But the majority, especially in the African-American household, and they probably go back from slavery and some stuff, Jim Crow, child, that we were taught no matter what the people doing and not doing, they're still your family. Your family got to stay together. So as we grow and we heal, things are different. We don't want to deal with stuff. If we look at ourselves, why am I losing people in my life? Why am I so angry? Why do I have whatever going on? Reflect. What's being said to me? How can I process this? Do I need help processing it? Maybe I could talk to a therapist. Maybe I can read some books about some things so I could figure out what was going on with me and what I need to do to heal it and work on it. It's not people pleasing. It's not talking about being whatever to please people. It's about being healthy for self and having healthy relationships from there.
Yeah. And I think because you went exactly where I was going to go. I didn't think you was going there, but you did. But I agree. When you're in that space and you're dealing with family, you're told that's your brother no matter what. That's your mama no matter what. Honor thy mother and thy father. So we're programmed into this space that no matter how family treats you, they can kick you, spit on you, whatever. Family is family, blood is thicker than water, and you just don't cut nobody off. You take it. And I think in a lot of spaces, and I'll speak even for myself, when you're that person in the family that is, I'm going to say, a little more forgiving, or they know that you will be more forgiving and not as hard-headed as the other one, they want you to be the peacemaker all the time. And that being that peacemaker puts you in the space to always expose yourself to situations, even though you didn't do it. It's almost like you're always kissing somebody's butt in order to be accepted into a space, because that's what normally the elders are pushing you into. So you do tend to try to follow how you was raised. You tend to accept things that you definitely shouldn't accept. And even in those spaces, a lot of times you really, really do get the short end of the stick, and you still get treated like crap. It just basically gives them a pass to continue to treat you like shit. Right. And that's what it is. And we think that that's okay and normal, because 9 out of 10, we were raised like that all that time. You're that person that's going to be the glue. You're the person that's going to fix it. And you just deal with your sisters or your whatever on a certain level. But it definitely shouldn't be like that. And it takes really a lot of times until we get older to realize this isn't normal behavior. And you got to cut some people off, no matter who the people are, for your sanity. And just for you to be able, because people, we don't grow up with boundaries. We've had that conversation on here before. We don't grow up with boundaries. A lot of us didn't figure out boundaries till we got in our 40s.
Yep. I didn't know what a boundary was.
I agree with that one. And also, a lot of times in that space, right, we don't view it as toxic behavior, even on the receiving end of it, right? I mean, we get numb to it. I mean, it's just like, especially when it's siblings and stuff like that, but also the person that's displaying it may not realize it until I have to set this boundary, right, for you to see yourself. So
I disagree. I disagree with a lot of that. Well, I shouldn't say I disagree. So I'm gonna go deeper. Like, she even answered her own question, which is interesting. When she asked the question, why did she deal with it? And then her next statement was, it runs deep in me too, abandonment. So regardless if it's family or not, there's still that abandonment feeling, that fear of abandonment. And that's why a lot of times people, regardless if it's a relationship, family ship, friendship, a ship, a boat with no whatever, they don't want to leave because they feel abandoned. I've said this a lot. I said this plenty of times on this show. Human nature wants a companion. It's human nature. It goes all the way, it dates all the way back to the Bible. It's human nature to want a companion. So it's going to be that innate fear of abandonment. And just reading over that and looking at some of your responses, I don't think it had anything to do with, I believe it doesn't have anything to do with family or not. It was that fear of abandonment. It was that fear of, I could possibly be alone, or I need this individual for whatever reason, because whether it's familiar, whether it's comfort, whether it is trauma bond, y'all went through the same stuff, whatever it is, It's like you have that. I don't want you to leave because I need that. Now you're seeing, hey, I can maintain without this individual. I can live without this individual. You're realizing you're reprogramming your mind not to fear that abandonment. Now you're
I
saying,
hear what you're
okay,
saying. You know, it's a difference between being alone or lonely, right? And abandonment issues, like what you're talking about, is the feeling of being alone, right? The feeling
no,
of
no,
being
no, no. I'm
alone.
not
Yeah,
talking about
because
alone.
hold on. And the reason why I'm saying that, because even in the Bible, when they talk about what you're speaking of, about Adam needing a suitable mate, is because he saw everybody else, and it wasn't that he felt abandoned, he just felt alone, right, or lonely. So in that space, like what we're talking about is the traumas associated with it, things that cause a certain behavior pattern.
No, I get that. I understand that
Well,
part. What I'm saying is goes deeper than just it goes deeper. Like I said, I was linking it to what she said. Because she literally answered her own question when she said abandonment, and she even said she's saying it, a connection and belonging. It's not.
a
I
connection and
get what you're saying.
belonging, being alone and being lonely.
But I didn't say alone or lonely. I just said
I
abandoned.
know, but that's what you're speaking of, which is not the same as what we're speaking of. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But anyways, what you think, Larneka?
Well, I mean, you can have being lonely and being abandoned is two different things. If you keep a person around, um, because if you keep a toxic person around, because you don't want to be alone, that's different than fearing them leaving. The abandonment part comes from fearing somebody won't be there. And then your response to that. Am I anxious? Do I have an anxious attachment? Am I trying to manipulate the situation? Because I don't want to be abandoned. Now, if I don't want to be alone, I might just keep anybody around. But there's some stuff in that in itself. So I mean, a person knows their journey. I don't know this individual. They know what they experienced. If
That's my big
they
sister right there.
kept the folk around, and because you could have two different, you could be abandoned. You can have somebody abandon you. Somebody didn't show up for you when you needed them to show up for you, and then you're keeping this person around because you don't want to do like somebody else did you to somebody else. So I'm gonna show up for you even when it is it's a hot mess going on, but I'm gonna show up for you because maybe I feel sorry, maybe I feel guilty, maybe I'm projecting my own fears, and then now they're not there and they're feeling, I didn't read the message, but they're feeling lonely. Those are two different things. And you can feel lonely because if all you knew was taking care of other people who were toxic, and now you got this space to yourself, that's where we continue to heal and grow, learning to be comfortable with self and all those other things. If I got that message right, I was trying to remember what y'all was saying. I didn't read it.
It's way up there. Don't worry about it. But
Yeah.
Okay.
it makes
I
sense.
can't even see them. Is the messages on the YouTube? What is it on? Should I be in comments? Oh, look,
Yeah,
I be on private chat all the time, the whole show. There it is. Okay.
There you
Ma'am,
go.
you've been on this show like 2 years.
I never really looked at the comments.
There you
Unless I was
go.
on Facebook or something. That's on
There
me.
you go.
But Gina did respond. She says, yes, all of that. Abandonment for me started at birth because I was given up for adoption. My brother was the real kid. I felt like my parents could give me back at any time. And I actually liked being alone.
Okay. Okay.
Then she said, "Makes sense." Yes. So yeah, everything.
Yeah, and you know what? Hey, this is your journey. This is your healing journey. I can only imagine how that feels. But at some point in life, we come to terms with everything, and we start doing the work that we need to do to heal it. Yeah.
And if I may, sis, Gina, knowing a little bit of your story, right? It makes sense. When we go through certain life situations that could have taken us out, but we're still here. We start seeing things differently, like things that we once tolerated, we just don't tolerate it anymore. So a lot of that aligns with it. So give yourself grace. Thank God for the second and third chances at life that you had, and continue to cut out the toxic people, the people that love you. We may not be blood related, but that does not make you less my big sis. So.
That's what's up.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay. That's what's up. No, but I agree. Another part to that, what I was thinking about too, a lot of times in family situations when people want to try to keep the family together, it like turns into like a last wish. Well, hey, make sure when I'm not here, I want you to do X, Y, Z and keep this and this. And a lot of times we stay in situations because you're trying to honor that person's wishes.
Yeah, and I think that's a tough space to be in. I mean, because everybody's different. My grandmother was like the glue. She passed away. My mom became that person. As far as trying to keep people together and the matriarch role. And I don't know that something happened to my mom that I want to do that. Because I ain't got no beef with my family. I love my family. But if y'all tripping, y'all can go ahead. That's kind of what I meant.
Get somebody else to do it.
If it's gonna be all that, y'all can go right on ahead with it. I'm not gonna make y'all come do nothing that y'all don't want to do. I holler at y'all from a distance, send y'all a Merry Christmas text. Ain't nobody gotta come eat. If y'all don't want to come eat, I'm not gonna make nobody come eat. But
yeah, and I agree with you because that's how I felt when my grandmother passed. Everybody was like, "Well, you're the glue. Everybody love you, this and this. So you got to keep the family." And I was like, I don't want that shit.
Yeah, because they got some folks. I don't fool with you now, and I ain't gonna make you come around if something happen. It just is what it is. You know them? Yeah, that's my cousin.
Over there.
Over there.
But isn't that considered setting boundaries though? Like, when you trying to maintain or curve the toxic behavior, you gotta set them type of boundaries, regardless of what it is.
You definitely we should set boundaries, period. The thing is, a lot of times we were never taught what that looks like. And so when we do set boundaries, people think you're acting funny. Oh, she don't want to be bothered. Oh, she got her family, or oh, she got this, or she think that. And you can allow guilt to kind of make you blur some boundaries, or you could be firm and be like, IDGAF, okay? At this point.
So it could be true.
But that's the funny thing. It's like when you start to change, people like you acted funny. You started to be different.
Yes, I am.
And that right there is toxic behavior that you starting to realize, like, okay, because I'm trying to better myself, you feel like it's a problem. Got it.
Your problem.
She just hormonal. Yeah. Because a lot of times people benefit from your lack of boundaries. And the people who holler the most, when you set those boundaries, you can tell where they are. If I'm telling you that I need space for me to reflect and to heal and all these other things, and you come pushing your way or bombarding your way in, you're not respecting my boundary. Right. Or if I don't want you coming over here drinking out my jug and using my dish towel to wipe your ass, whatever y'all was talking about earlier, but you gonna do it anyway. That we don't have, that's a problem right there. And I think people are used to having access to us even when we don't want it. Like with family or with whomever, I really don't want to be bothered, but because I don't have any boundaries and maybe I don't have any self-esteem or self-worth, I'm gonna let you come on in and have your way, per se. But when I create these boundaries, that person who is able to do what they want will think I'm acting funny. And so that's where guilt will mess us up to feel, well, dang, I don't want them to think I'm
I
being
don't feel
funny.
guilty
I'm just
for acting
tired
funny.
and I
That's
just
that.
don't feel
That's
like
that
cooking.
manipulation. That's that manipulation and gaslighting.
True. Indeed. Indeed it is. And that's why we become self-aware. We recognize these things because really it all boils down to trauma and how we are responding from different trauma we've experienced, from things that we've learned. Things that are learned can be unlearned. Trauma teaches us some negative things. It teaches us some negative things about ourselves, and it teaches us some negative ways of being, behavior to survive. These are all survivor things that we do, but we can heal from it. Nothing that's done to us, nothing that we've been taught has to stay and stick. We can change it, we can heal it. It takes time. There's no quick fix. you know you can heal by becoming self-aware. I'm becoming self-aware of negative thoughts. That didn't mean they left. I just know when they show up to stop and pause and talk to them. Like I'm in my shadow work coaching. Hey, Sharonda, and being able to sit with my triggers. It's like, okay, here come a trigger.
Yep.
And she taught me to talk to her. So I'm like, "Fool, what you want? What do you want? Why are you here? Get the hell on, okay?" But a lot of times triggers come as a defense mechanism to protect us. Because it's like, hey, remember danger came, and it doesn't, even though we are not in present danger, most of the time the trigger gonna react because it feels like we are.
Yeah.
Because we were so used to being in it, and maybe our thoughts and our fears are afraid of new situations, and so the trigger shows up as Superman or something to try to protect us. But what it's really doing is messing us up because there's nothing to protect us from.
Yep,
And
that's
it's interesting that you said
child.
that, because like even me, right? I told y'all like how I dealt with stuff, and it makes me think about like when I was, because understanding me asking you for help, and if something goes wrong, then my name is attached to it. So essentially it falls on me. But I remember growing up, right? Anytime my brother or my sister did something, my grandmother blamed me. Like, and my brother, he was a booger. I mean, he did a lot. Then my sister used to steal from my granny, but I always got blamed until it came to light, right? And so in that space, like, that's where my controlling comes from. If I can control the narrative, like in this space, so I can understand the trauma aspect that's related to, not saying it's right, but I can pinpoint where it comes from. So now I could kind of move out of that space.
Yep.
And that's the thing, becoming self-aware. Now I know where this came from. Okay, I know it's trauma. Okay, I know that this is why I'm having these negative thoughts. I know this is where these abandonment issues came from. I'm here. So now the next step is putting in the work, learning how to regulate your emotions. Man, when I tell you the nervous system is an MF, baby, that mofo rocked me so bad these last 2 or 3 weeks. It had, and I'm like, dang. But I slowed down long enough. I was by myself, but I sat with myself long enough to be able to recognize it. Because people, you hear these things. I use these terms myself in my professional work, about regulate your nervous system and all this other stuff. Now I had a real front row seat of what that looks like and being able to recognize what it feels like. Because a lot of times, as we just go about our business, we got all kind of internal stuff going on that's been going on that feels normal. But when you sit with it and you reflect and you become self-aware and recognize, oh, this is my nervous system. Oh, this is anxiety. These are negative thoughts. That's the first step. That's the first step. Now, the second step is changing that, healing it. Because a lot of times people will be like, I got trauma, period. Okay. I'm glad you recognize that it's not for me to deal with your trauma, it's for you to deal with that trauma. Not to use that as an excuse or a reason to act a fool. I've been traumatized. Okay. But as you work through the healing, you can give that disclaimer. I've been through some trauma. I'm working on some things. Y'all be yelling, y'all might get hurt, or whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. But it's up to you to be able to do the work. Shadow work, therapy is definitely something that is helpful. Setting healthy boundaries, improving communication skills, learning to listen, active listening without trying to respond or rebuttal. I can tell you as a therapist, I don't know how I do it in the therapy seat, but in real life, I'll be ready to respond. I'll be listening to try to say something. I don't know if it's the Louisiana that's in me, the Indians, or whoever the hell it is that's roaring inside of me. Somebody be ready to fight, okay? But in the therapy seat, I'm just listening and calm as I don't know what. But that other little hot-blooded Frenchman, I don't know what it is. They be ready to fight. I'm listening so I can respond. You got me wrong. I'm gonna prove I gotta over-explain, but all of that is a trauma response. Okay, so learn how to listen and actually listen and process without being ready to, you get me wrong. Somebody might have you wrong, but listen to what they're saying. And then you can give your rebuttal, not just listening and you might hear something and click, there it is. Let's go. Hurry up, finish talking so I can say my part. Matter of fact, I'm going to interrupt you. Here it is, kind of thing. And so being able to breathe and take time for that, learning how to developing a secure attachment. A lot of times we have anxious attachments or even avoidant attachment behavior. And those can really be some things that can mess up relationships and how we interact with people. And all of it boils down to fear. Learning to be secure within self. If people come and go, okay, being all right with the door swinging open or closed. And being okay with sitting with yourself. We mentioned earlier, being okay with being alone. Because you can be alone and not necessarily be lonely, Yep. So allowing yourself space to grow, journaling, self-reflection, and as I mentioned before, regulating that nervous system by grounding. Get outside. I'm trying to get my patio together. I've been trying to get my patio together for the last 3 years, child. I think this is time for me to get this patio together. I got a plant out there. I forgot about the plant. I'm like, Jesus, let me go and put some water on the plant. And the plant, now, luckily, that plant, by the grace, don't need a lot of water all the time. It's like, don't overwater it. I'm like, good, because I'm going to forget it's out there, okay? But as I get my patio together, that'll be my grounding space, because I bought some stuff, but I got in that car wreck, and so that kind of, threw me off a little bit. But I have some stuff in here, getting that together, and my plan is to sit out on the patio and just breathe. Meditate, breathe, have that calming space, and just do that. The last couple weekends, I went to the park. It rained a lot, but the sun was out. The weather got a little cool. So I went to the park and I did some grounding, out there. I walked. Last week, I was trying to walk 3 miles, ended up walking 5 because I was lost. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to. I got off the path. I don't even know what happened. I'm like, this is too much. I'm glad I had some good shoes on, because I'd have been trying to call an Uber or something to take me to my car. That's how serious it was. Lord. But no, I'm not trying to neglect the plant. I just kind of forgot it was out there. I put a little water on it today. It really don't take a lot. And it's been raining. Well, they said it didn't need a lot. I put it on the chat GPT. Like, what is this plant? I just picked up something that was a.
You know what? We'll talk about the plant later.
I don't even. It's out there.
Okay.
I don't know the name of it, but it got some flowers growing on it. It has some flowers growing. But these are things that we can do once we recognize the toxic behaviors that we have. Yeah. Those are some coping techniques. Those are some healing techniques. We can find ways to cope. Coping is temporary. Coping is just to kind of get you through the healing process. Grounding regulates. Thank you, Sharonda. Grounding helps regulate the nervous system. It does. It truly does. And that's what I know I've been doing these last couple of weeks. So that's helpful. And once you calm all that stuff down and you can pinpoint what it is, and even if you can't pinpoint what it is, the fact that you have a story that you're telling yourself, which is why your body and everything is reacting to this, you can tell yourself a new story. You can always change your story.
Yeah. Agree. I love that you mentioned the regulation of the nervous system. That's a big thing because it starts right there, you know, because once that's out of whack, everything else is out of whack,
Oh
right?
man.
You know, as well. And it's important to also recognize when you are beginning to regulate yourself and those emotions and all that, pinpoint the secondary emotions, pinpoint the third emotions, because when you're able to pinpoint it right, and you can backtrack and figure out where the starting point is to what's got you, thrown out of whack. So great advice, great healing mechanisms. And it's okay to cope, but let's get to the healing aspect as well.
And parts,
TK,
and
what you
people
got?
stop at the cope.
There you go. They
So
get comfortable, then cope.
in that space where they talk about resetting your nervous system, I've seen a few different techniques that people do. I've seen people put their face in cold water,
Yeah, I'm not doing
and
that.
I've seen, you said you're not doing that.
Nope. Shock.
And then there's another one. People say that you get in the shower and you turn the lights off.
See, I do that.
Yeah.
But everything works. Everybody got to find what works for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was in the shower with the lights out, I'd probably fall. I don't know. That just might not be for me. And that's okay. But I would like a warm bath, with some Epsom salt and some things like that is calming. Somebody said they meditate in a dark room. Okay. These sound baths, sound bowls.
Yeah.
I've been listening to that
Yeah.
lately. And man, when I tell you that has been helpful, that's been a saving grace for me with that. Some of the white noise, like
White noise.
rain or the air
They
conditioning
got
or
white,
whatever.
brown, and pink. White noise, brown, and pink noise.
I don't know about them other ones. I just
Mm-hmm.
know about the white.
Yeah.
White is right. Let me stop. Let me stop.
Oh, Lord.
But and that's the beauty of it. While we're in this space and we figured out, okay, man, I got some toxic behavior. Yes, I've had some trauma, or I've had trauma. I don't know if my behaviors are toxic or not, but man, I don't know what to do. These are things that you can, the beauty in it is learning yourself, learning what you need. Somebody said pink noise. That's new for me too, child. I don't know. What is the pink noise?
It's just a higher pitch of white noise. It's just different pitches. They got different pitches.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the steps.
Mhm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was saying it's just like different pitches. Like when you're talking about the bowl, the meditation bowl, they have the tone where it's a constant tone, like they're running the I forgot what it's called, but I call it the mallet around the rim.
Yeah.
Or you have it, it'll hit you with a ding every once in a while.
Yeah,
So-
there's these bowls and another one because I just be on YouTube kind of random. There's one that looks like more metal bowls or something.
It's like different size types of bowls.
Yeah.
And like some people put water in it. When you put water in it, it'll change the pitch, the tone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reiki, I was looking. I'm gonna go to Reiki. I was trying to find something this weekend, but then I realized it is Mother's Day weekend. That's why nobody was having nothing on the Sunday, because the Sunday is a free day for me. So my goal is to do that, and that that's
Reiki
with
massage.
energy and your chakras and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I think the beauty in healing is discovering what works for
I
you.
couldn't think of the name of it. That's right, Reiki bowl.
I know a spot that's close to you, Larneka. I'll see that information afterwards.
Okay, please do, because I'm trying to get my healing. I need a healing.
And then last but not least, like you don't realize you don't have to do a lot of this by yourself. Like find a trusted friend, find somebody that you know 10 toes down for you.
Yeah.
Or even a mental health professional, because a lot of folks, what I've learned from my not history, but dealings with people in the beginning, when they're trying to make that change, they feel like they have to do it themselves. They have to do it alone. And if they can't do it alone, then there's an issue. And I'm like, that's not the case. This is, to me, when it comes to mental health and healing and stuff, it's like football. It's a team sport. You just got to get the right team around you.
Yeah, I agree, man. And everything works together. We got to understand shadow work, counseling, coaching, therapists, they all play a specific part. You know, there's levels. So I agree with everything DA said. And also, if you're in this space where you need some help, we're connected to some awesome people from this podcast. We know some awesome therapists, coaches, counselors. So if you're in that space and if you're in Texas area, reach out to us. Reach out to us, and we'll definitely send you in the right
direction. House Therapist is located in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
If y'all need therapy, however, there's an awesome shadow work coach that's in Georgia, and they are not bound by state limits.
Exactly.
So if you want to do, I was actually in a training today that was it was a therapist talking about coaching, and they were saying that they can go hand in hand. You can have a therapist and a coach. You know, sometimes therapists feel away because you got a coach. Child, I have a therapist and a coach. Okay. And if y'all feel away about it, I don't know. But I'm going to keep my shadow work coach for sure. And I'm going to have my therapist because the coach is going to keep me accountable for some things that I need to put in place. And the therapist is going to help me reach back to be able to pinpoint where these things came from and whatever other mental health concerns that came from it. Coaches don't do mental health. Mental health providers don't do the coaching in the same setting. Yeah. You know,
and DA is awesome too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and act like DA don't have skills in this field as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's awesome as far as the he could tell more of his specific expertise. But DA is awesome in this space as well. He's helped a lot of people.
Yeah,
good, awesome. So there's help out there, like you were saying. You don't have to go at this by yourself. A lot of times we might feel guilt and shame, and you know, how could I be like this? Why am I doing this? Let me just go into hermit mode. You know, hermit mode is okay for its season, you know, but there is help out there. There's people that, you know, you got support groups, you got, you know, podcasts that's going to give you some stuff. There are books out there that you can read about different things, you know, so start pouring into yourself. Start pouring some positive things. You know, I had to change my TikTok stuff. You know, I was listening to a lot of politics and a lot of BS, you know, but now I'm on this other leg of my healing journey. So I had to reset that algorithm, give me some healing stuff. Give me some stuff about healing. I don't care about what they're doing over there and everything else. I can't, you know, I'm going to trust the Lord on that. But I need to work on, you know, my healing. So we got to be careful of what we're ingesting, not just food, but what are we listening to? What are we putting in what energy are we putting around us, you know? And be careful of the people around you. Now, it's good to have a trusted friend, but if you got a bunch of toxic friends that's blurring your boundaries and doing all this other stuff, you might want to set them down for a minute and get with some people that's, you know, on a healing journey and not just trying to tell you, oh, it's okay to be like that. It's everybody else's fault. And, you know, all that other stuff. You know, we got friends that be on the other end of the spectrum. So
I want to address this.
Hold on, DA, wait.
I'm just saying.
Say we got friends that be on the other. I'm sorry.
They be wilding out. We can't do the wilding out.
No. I want to address this comment that Jeffrey Clark just made. Like when he said it seems like you're going through by yourself though. So many has failed or just refused to see me at all until they need me to work for them. So that's a powerful statement, Jeffrey. Because one, you're realizing a lot of the things that we talked about in this podcast, by saying people refuse to work with you or see you until they need you. That is a toxic behavior. I'm gonna just put it out there right now. That's toxic behavior. All right. Now, as far as you working through it by yourself, that is true because you have to take the steps. You have to put forth the effort. The people around you, a good team around you, cannot be putting forth more effort than you. So it's gonna feel like you're doing it by yourself. But as you begin to progress, evolve, and grow, you're gonna see that you're not alone. You're gonna see that you got the right team. You're gonna see you got the right people around you. So keep your head up, bro. Keep your head up because it's gonna be tough in the beginning. But as you begin to evolve, as you begin to grow as a man, you're gonna see I see the results and say, I am glad I did take that first step and kept stepping.
I agree.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff, man. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Good stuff. TK?
Definitely. Shoot, I just said it. This was good. Like this was very, 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 very good. Lots of information, a lot of real moments, even though Dee didn't say what he said he was gonna say later. But yeah,
I did
but
say
no,
it.
what you said.
I talked about me when like I need help, but I want you to help you the way I want you to help you.
Oh, you was talking about that part. I thought you was gonna
Yeah.
talk about
Control.
There you go.
But like yeah, being able to have the information to know what is considered toxic, because a lot of times we really, really believe it's the norm because that's how we was brought up or that's what we was exposed to. Like I said, now I can say all are in a space where with this podcast, we've been able to learn different things about what's toxic and what's this and how you adjust to this and how you're able to deal with certain things. So it's definitely a learning experience. And just like Larneka said, you can unlearn things that you've learned and how you were raised. It is definitely a process though. And you got to be able to want to do it and be honest with yourself and call yourself out on situations when you know that you are operating in a toxic space.
Definitely. And it's like your body's gonna want to push back because it's so used to a certain thing and the unfamiliar can be a bit scary. And that's why support is helpful. Having somebody to talk to, having somebody to work with you to kind of walk you through it, to give you a little guidance. But you can do it. It can be done. It is a journey. It's not going to be a quick fix. It won't be overnight, but it's going to be a journey. And the beautiful part about it is when you discover who you are outside of all of the toxic stuff, outside of all of the trauma, outside of all of the noise. Once you can quiet down everything, you begin to discover who you really are. And you can always create what you want.
Agreed. And I'm going to say this in closing. Even having this conversation, right, it's easy to think about other people and try to fix other people, but let's focus on ourselves. Let's fix ourselves. If everyone takes the initiative to work on themselves, right, then that's a great starting point. And I think that's the most important starting point. Our specific toxic behaviors, and I'm not trying to say that everybody is toxic, but no one is perfect. We all got a little room to work. So, yeah, let's start there. And that's all I got to care.
All right, DA.
Hey, we can't hear you, man.
You muted.
Yeah.
How the hell I got muted? Like I said before, this is a team sport. Get yourself a good team. I mean, and it may take you having to fire a couple people. That's par for the course. You got to fire somebody. It's just like trying on shoes. You got to find the right pair. All right, you got to try them on, see if they fit. They don't fit, take them off, put them back. But don't just sit on the bench though. Don't just sit on the bench and not do something, because not doing something is just as bad as being toxic. That's all I got to say. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy y'all night. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, the mothers' mothers, the mothers' mothers' mothers.
You Lord. Larneka, was that your outro or you got one?
I can come up with something else. Just trauma. Trauma is real. It's unfortunate that things happen, but they did. And as we navigate this space called life, you know, we can heal from it. Healing is out there, and like everyone has said, it starts from within. You know, be concerned and focus on yourself first. Create a community of support. You know, there's help out there. You don't have to suffer in silence. And you have toxic behavior, it's okay. You didn't know, now you know. The bad part is knowing and not doing anything about it. Okay. So there's help out there. Thank y'all very much.
Definitely. And as DA said, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers that, of course, are here in attendance and rock with us. Hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. I'm not gonna say you're gonna get no rest because we don't never get rest. So yeah, you just do what you do. But
Happy Mother's Day, Mama.
oh Lord, she's so sick of you.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she is. She's sick of you. You wanna make the announcement for Tuesday? We're just doing Tuesday, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw your comment about my beard. Yes. So, man, put up to my Facebook page Tuesday at 5 p.m. Right, the Vibe and Logic podcast. Me and TK. I'm gonna warn you, it's a little bit different than this right here. This is healthy, right? But there's a lot of stuff that I want to say that she won't let me say here, so I'm gonna go over there so I can say it. So. Pull up on us, the Vibe and Logic podcast. Me and TK, we rocking it out, having fun, no holds barred.
Okay. Is it rated PG-13?
Whatever come to my mind, I'm saying it.
Uh-oh. Have mercy. Okay.
Saying it. So put your seatbelts on and let's ride. Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Come on.
I gotta be
the Vibe and Logic podcast. Look it up on Facebook, follow the page so you can get all the updates about what's going on.
I gotta be a more aware of what I connect myself to, apparently.
Hey, I think I'm extra over here.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
I get to cut up. So again, happy Mother's Day. Y'all be safe. Safe travels, whatever's going on. Don't eat too much, you know. Don't be at church taking nobody's seat. Y'all know how y'all do. Show up once or twice a year. Yeah,
they're gonna have them big old hats on, blocking everybody's vision.
Okay.
Facts. So
yeah,
Larneka, good to see you. I miss you.
It is great to be back. I didn't realize I was gone for so long, but trust me, it will not happen again.
I did. I looked. It said 2 months. I said, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even feel like it. But hey, I'm back. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Glad you.
Great conversation, y'all.
Yes, definitely good topic. And this was therapist.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about my healing journey. That's one thing about me. I'm gonna be transparent and very vulnerable. It even got me resurrected in a Heartbreak Hotel. So y'all stay tuned for that one.
Wait, what's that?
Heartbreak Hotel is it started off as a safe space for mass women loving women who have gone through trauma, who have gone through relationship trauma. So I guess the first leg of my healing, we was talking about it. Then I was all right. Thought I was all right. And then I'm on the next leg of my healing. We're going to talk about it some more. And so it was a closed space, but I think people kind of felt away. And so now I'm doing it live. So whoever needs to grab a hold to it can.
Okay.
And so I plan on
send your way.
Yeah. Tell them to tune in.
Yeah. I'm tune in too, but I got you.
Come on. I mean, anybody. I'm opening it up for anybody who need it. Anybody who needs it.
I love it.
Okay, and what nights is or when is the next?
Well, I started in June right now because I realized nervous system and stress in the life I live, it wasn't a good match. So right now it's once a month, the second Tuesday of the month, and I'm gonna see how I can, because I got a lot of transitions in my life, lots of transitions occurring, and so I don't want to overwhelm and overcommit myself to something, and then I'll be right back in the nervous system of hell. So I'm trying to ease it in there and see, what's what. So yeah, it'll be. Might be a Linky Love production. I don't know.
There we go.
Linky be doing some junk, child.
All right. Well, good to see you, DA, man. I know you've been busy the last couple of weeks. Glad to have you back. What's it, about 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's been some time. I got a lot of irons in the fire.
I got you. Glad to have you back, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So
everybody out having
make your announcement that for the people watching, sir.
Who, me?
DA.
Oh, DA.
You stuck?
I don't know what else are you talking about.
Hold on.
Oh Lord, where's she going, man? Hold on, where's she going, downstairs?
I don't know. Oh, I did that already. I thought I did.
Yeah.
All right, my first book, Wet Dreams Collections, Volume 1, Flesh and Fantasy, is out on Amazon. On Amazing. It's
stay away from that book, because you're gonna be somewhere crying.
What it is?
And it's, you know what? It's funny. It's funny that you said that, because I had a friend of mine approach me, and she was like, "Why you don't do nothing for us?" And I was like, And so we might be working on some stuff for the LGBTQ community.
Put it on Audible, brother. We want to hear you talk.
Girl, stop! If I do that, I have to pay people to buy it, because not me.
Oh, yeah.
Making all them noises, I would sound like Rick Ross. Oh.
Oh, we gonna hard
it's out on Amazon. Check it out. I'm working on a new, actually working on 2 more. A book of poetry will be coming out soon. I haven't decided the name yet. I got 2 names I'm floating right now. I don't know which one will work or not, but yeah. So yeah, it's a short. Like, the book of poetry is short. It's like, I want to say 50 pages, something like that.
That's pretty good. 50 poems.
Yeah. So I've been grinding, working. Yeah, got a couple other projects too. Working on an actual novel on my experiences in the military and whatnot.
Ooh,
nice.
But no, it's a fiction. So don't be reading and shit talk about. See, I knew they were crooked. I knew it. They be over there making other people feel. No.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, y'all have a good evening. We'll see y'all.
Yes. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you haven't liked, share, subscribe, share this with somebody, even go back and rewatch it, take some notes, because you might have missed something if you came in a little late. But have a blessed weekend. Have a happy and safe Mother's Day. And we will see y'all on Tuesday and then on Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this. Don't talk about it. Really on the move.